Welcome to Penny for Your Shots, conversations and cocktails with brilliant women. I'm your host, Penny Fitzgerald, and I believe the best stories are the ones shared over a glass of wine or a cocktail. Each week, I sit down with women who've said yes to building something meaningful, often after years of putting everyone else first. We talk business, big dreams, and the mess in between. And of course, a few favorite drinks. So grab a glass, get comfy, and let's pour ourselves into Penny for Your Shots. This week, I'm joined by Kate Assaraf, founder of Dip, the shampoo and conditioner bars that have officially converted to skeptics. Yep, Jeff and I have been using the products for about a month, and we're hooked. What started as Kate's personal mission to ditch plastics turned into a full-on calling to create salon-quality hair care that's not only better for the planet, but actually better for your hair. Kate's not your average entrepreneur. She's witty, wildly transparent, and on a mission to make sustainability approachable. No finger wagging, no greenwashing, just really good hair products that work. We talk about her journey from bar skeptic to bar scientist. Okay, not officially, but this woman knows her stuff. The surprising truth behind essential oils, why Dip is designed to outperform luxury brands, and the power of doing business with integrity. Plus, we swap stories about growing up without much, the beauty of small town life, and how a silly moment with seashells and rum became one of her most cherished memories. If you've ever felt skeptical about sustainable swaps, or wondered if you really can have great hair without all the plastic, this episode is your invitation to dip your toe or your ends into something new. Here is Kate Assaraf. Kate, how are you?
Hi, I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm good. My gosh, I love is that wallpaper behind you?
Yeah, it's wallpaper. It's like really, it's like crazy. It's like,
That's
I don't know.
gorgeous.
Thank you. Thanks. Yeah. It was a very boring little room and now I did I made it
I love it.
crazy.
Love it. It's a great backdrop.
Thank you.
How's your morning?
It's great. Yeah. It's raining in New Jersey again, so it's raining every day for the
yeah.
next. Where are you based?
I'm in Iowa for the summer.
I love Iowa, by the way. I've been
Too.
there and it's I just had the nicest people. I've had the nicest people.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I tell people it's a great place to live, but I wouldn't want to visit.
That's so funny.
Kind of biased. And when you live somewhere, it's like you take for granted the things that are cool. So
Yeah, that's true.
you don't go visit fun places. You just kind of exist and do
I
your
hear
thing.
you. It took me like 40 years before I got to the Statue of Liberty. People have time. It's like this thing is cool.
Oh my gosh. So where in New Jersey are you?
I'm in Sparta, which is halfway
Okay.
between the Poconos and New York City.
Okay. Oh, that's beautiful country out there.
Yeah, it's really, really pretty. I love it.
Oh, nice. That's the Garden State part.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Lots of gardens and farms around here.
Nice. Very cool. Oh gosh. Okay. So business. Back. Oh my gosh. Okay. So I was reading part of your bio. You have a hair care company. Is that
Yes.
correct? Well,
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. It's shampoo and conditioner bars is the bulk of our business.
Ah,
And, a lot of times with sustainability, so we're plastic free, our bars. A lot of times people are really fed up with buying something that is sustainable that makes them miss the stuff that was in plastic. And it was my mission to really get people to switch over to shampoo and conditioner bars and stick with that change. So I made it so good that I barely ever talk about plastic in our marketing. Like,
wow.
yeah, that was the
So it's
goal.
just the quality of the product instead of
Yeah. Yeah. It's
why
just,
we're good for you.
yeah, exactly. I mean, I've made so many plastic free swaps that I've only made once and I'll never buy that product again. And
Uh-huh.
really like that doesn't help people reduce plastic in their life at all. If they buy something once and they're so mad about it, then they go back to their old habits. And that was my very lofty goal was to like, okay, I'm gonna not only make something that won't make someone miss their previous hair care, even if it was very high-end luxury stuff, but also it's
Mhm.
going to save them a lot of money long term. And those were
Wow.
my two goals, and I think I've accomplished them. Our customers seem to think so, so that makes me really, really happy.
That's very cool. So what brought you to that? I mean, what made you decide that this is what I want to do?
It was frustration more than, and I think sometimes the best stuff comes out of frustration. I
Hmm.
had read in 2014 that not only was plastic accumulating on the planet, but it was because it wasn't really getting recycled. But then I also learned about how it had adverse health effects, not only for humans, but also for aquatic life and animal life. And I wanted
Mm-hmm.
to reduce my plastic. I started in 2014 on this mission of just keeping plastic away. I was pregnant with my first son, and I became very, this is like, I'm going to try and make the world a better place for my son. So I tried making all the
Mm.
swaps, and I just was so, I could make this, I could get rid of saran wrap, right? And use
Yeah.
the beeswax wraps or stasher bags. I could get rid of, you know, laundry detergent, but keep buying lots of like jugs of it and switch to powder. Like that was fine. The thing I really couldn't do was hair care. I switched to
Mm.
bar hair care and I was so angry about it. And because I kept trying different brands and I was like, this is doing the exact opposite of what I intended to reduce waste. And instead I have this like graveyard, this all these tombstones of bars. And I was just going back to the bottle anyway. And I was like, I think I can solve this problem. And
Wow.
so, being an entrepreneur is like not a fun gig. Like it perceived as fun, but it's really
It's a
not.
calling.
It's a calling.
Yeah.
That is exactly right. It is a calling. It's not like,
Yeah.
yay. Like I was like, you know what? I'm gonna solve this,
I
and
get it.
I'm gonna make sure that I make it so that no one is disappointed with what they've just purchased.
Wow.
So that's
That's
how it
cool.
came about.
That's amazing. So in telling your story, 2014, there weren't a lot of options back then. I
No,
don't think people were even aware of
no, it was
what
a small
plastic was
community.
doing.
Yeah, it was a very small community. And I happened upon this information by accident. I was reading this book. It was called Boys Adrift. I was pregnant with my first son. My brother gave
Mm.
me this book, and he'd already had four children before me. And so he's like, you should read this book. It's about how to raise a son that becomes a productive member of society. And one of the they talked about like video games. They talked about boys not spending time in nature or hunting anymore. And one of the things that they talked about was plastics affecting hormonal health. And
Really?
this was, 11 years ago now.
Wow. Yeah.
Now starting to bubble into mainstream kind of
Hmm.
knowledge. And I find that fascinating that that knowledge was out there and it took 11 years for people to become really aware of it.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
doesn't that blow your mind?
It
Like,
does blow my mind. Yeah. And like even my own awareness of it has
mhm.
gotten more acute, over
Yeah.
time. But I read recently that the average American has a quart-sized bag, speaking of plastics,
Mhm.
of microplastics in their brain.
Yes. I've read something similar.
What could
That's a much
possibly go
scarier.
wrong?
Yeah, I know. Like it's weird. It's very, very frightening. And you have children and you hope that those children get to live a healthy life. Like that's what you want. And
Mm,
you're
hmm.
like, I don't know, everywhere I look it seems like a nightmare. And
Yeah.
you want to protect them, but like they're starting to find it in breast milk. They're starting to find it
Oh,
like
yeah.
body can't even filter these microplastics the way they're supposed to. um
Right.
and so the only thing we can do as a species, as humans, is figure out
Hmm.
ways to reduce that plastic.
Yeah.
And hair care, I chose hair care because it's emotional. Like, if you have a bad hair day, a bad haircut, a hair job, you learn it, you lose your hair. It's
True
very
story.
emotional. And I was like, what if I kind of soft served this plastic free movement to people with hair care, which is emotional, and maybe they like it so much that they start to look for other plastic free options. It's a soft serve
I
into the
like it.
yeah. Because I don't
It
I don't think finger waggling gets you there, and I don't think
no,
skeptics get you there. I think what
no.
really gets you there is like being like, "Hey, this is really great. There's other great options out there. The store that sold it to you, like they also have plenty of other plastic-free options. Like
Yeah.
go explore. Like have at it." You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, yeah. Well, the scare tactics. Yeah. It gets your attention and maybe gets your attention enough to think about it a little bit more. And
Yeah. But
well,
it freezes you. It like puts you, I studied economics and everyone thinks economics is about money, but it's really
Mm.
about choice. It's like,
Mm.
how do you choose between this and that? It's really about opportunity cost and saying like, okay, you know, how does this information, how do people react to this information? And
Mm-hmm.
I found that anytime someone shows me like, you know, the hermit crab in the bottle cap or any of these things, it's like my shampoo is not doing that. You know,
Yeah.
like so for you to scare me into buying your shampoo by showing me this crab that's unrelated, I think people
Yeah.
are smarter than marketers give them credit for. And I think that that
Mm-hmm.
marketing is lazy. I think it's
Yeah.
lazy to do that to people, and it's just not cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
um, it bothers me a lot, and I see it a lot in sustainability. And you know, thankfully, all my competitors are using that kind of marketing, and I don't
So
like.
you stand out.
Yeah, you guys do that. I'm gonna tell people like I'm gonna show them that this is really great, and I'm not gonna use any influencers. I'm not gonna use any fake, you know, surrogate customers
I
that are
love
like
it.
pretending to be customers of Dip,
Yep.
making videos. Anyone you see on the feed is pretty much already a customer that has paid for it. Um, and I think people appreciate that. I think they're
Yeah.
fed up with like the marketing machine right now.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think more time goes on too, that people are going to be more discerning. I think they're going to be more
Yeah.
aware of fakes, aware
Oh,
of, even though AI is getting better,
yeah.
it's still, a genuine connection or a genuine
Totally.
person.
Yeah.
Yeah. The message
Yeah.
is there.
Yeah. I mean, it is crazy to see the marketing pitches that come to me via like AI
Mm.
programs. They're
Oh,
like,
you can tell. Yeah.
yeah, it's crazy. But I do think human beings are smarter, you know,
Yeah.
smarter than
Well, some
marketers.
are.
Yeah. You know, yeah, there's a curve, I'm sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what makes me really happy, it seems that like the people that finally find Dip and the products are read every page on the website. They deep dive before they purchase. And I really
Yeah.
appreciate that. And I love that the things that took me so long to write, people are reading.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
because they really want to know who they're buying from and why, and how we came up with certain decisions about the product, because a lot of that is kind of cloaked in marketing in a lot of brands,
Oh, yeah.
across all different categories. And I'm very happy to let people know, like, hey, we're use synthetic fragrance. We do that because people don't know that a lot of essential oils are cold pressed with pesticides on the plant. Like they don't know. So
Mm.
you're thinking you're doing the right thing, like buying something that's essential oil based, all natural, but then you don't know that like the farming practices on that, on, you know, like an aggregate of farms, like they could have pesticides on that plant, and then you're putting your pesticides directly onto your body without ever knowing.
Mm.
Kind of, you know, and since fragrance gets a really bad rap,
Hmm.
I am always explaining to people, I'm like, I don't go to the Church of Essential Oils for this very specific reason about pesticides and how much land is needed to get a few drops of oil,
Oh.
and what those farming practices are. And if it's the kind of if that plant is native to a country that doesn't have nice labor practices, you don't
Mm.
know what kind of conditions these things are being farmed in.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much when you deep dive into all different levels. But I'm happy to be as transparent as possible with my customers without putting myself at risk and just handing all my information over to a competitor.
Oh, right. 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 Yeah.
You'll be
Well, and
surprised. Like some people pretend to be students, they're like competitors, and I can kind of figure
yeah.
out who they are, and they
Oh,
want
wow.
certain things, and I'm like, we don't share that information. Get out of here.
What a horrible way to live your life and be
Yeah,
and grow
yeah.
your business
And
by,
yeah, and
wow.
had I not grown up so sarcastic and confrontational because I'm from New Jersey, you know, I would let it slide. But I'm like, no, this question's gross. Like, go away.
I love it. Wow. That's interesting. Because, being in Iowa,
Mhm.
I'm very trusting of people,
Oh yeah.
but I'll be like, really?
Mhm.
you
You
know,
know
it,
what? You're not. You're kind, but probably not that trusting. Do you know what I mean? If someone
yeah.
started to be like, hey, I need to know all the metrics of your podcast. So and you're like, no, you don't. There's
Do you
no,
really?
yeah,
I
there's no
don't think you do.
circumstance where that is actually helpful to you. So I have a
Yeah.
lot of that too, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Kind but verify.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh gosh, that's funny. You know, and when I was reading your bio, I kind of feel like we already had things in common too. That was kind of
Ooh,
fun.
tell
Yeah.
me.
Well, you said you grew up poor.
Yeah.
Same girl.
Yeah.
Government cheese kind of
Hmm.
rocks.
Yeah. We were in church funded housing. I think my mom paid like $20 a month in rent, like
Wow.
really low. Um,
Yeah.
and part of our earnings was like what part of the living arrangement,
Uh-huh.
we're in a very gross little cement bungalow, and we had to part of it was we had to volunteer at this organization where we sorted clothes and into different sizes and housewares, when people
Uh-huh.
donate stuff and those donate
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
replacement.
yeah.
So we were on the receiving end, my mom and I, and we would go through and size them, and then battered women would come in with their children, and we'd give them
Oh.
clothes. And so I
Uh-huh.
did that from when I was 8 to 14. And a lot of my friends growing up had no idea that this was like the circumstance under which we grew up, but
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
that's how we earned our keep and had a place to live. Um,
Wow. Were you
and
in a city?
I know I was in very wealthy suburbs of New Jersey, but
Really?
I would run to a different bus stop so no one knew where I lived. Back when you could do that. Now, like with my kids, they're so official about where everyone is and gets on and off the bus.
Oh,
But
yeah, yeah.
and I just went to a different bus stop and got on there and pretended I was part of this other community. Um,
Wow.
and so, yeah, you have to like people that grow up under really difficult circumstances,
Yeah.
especially when we were young, I think found ways to hide it and cloak it.
Wow.
What
Yeah.
did you do?
Well, for me, I didn't know. I didn't know I was poor. Yeah, I think a lot. I grew up in rural Iowa,
Mhm.
and I think a lot of my friends were kind of in similar situations, or not
Mm.
not maybe as poor. Looking back, I can see, oh my gosh, yeah, I remember mom and dad not having food and stuff, but we were on a
Yeah,
farm, so we had resources. We had a garden,
that's
you
amazing.
know. Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember standing in line with mom to get government cheese and canned beef, which wow,
Yeah.
those they were amazing. And I didn't know that that was a bad thing, you know. It was just it's not a bad thing. It's a wonderful thing that it's available for people who
Totally.
need it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just, I played in the dirt.
Yep. Same. I spent a lot of time in the woods and,
Oh,
just
yeah.
just being there.
Oh, yeah. I was in the barn with like cats and
Yeah, it's wild. Like, the difference for me was that everyone around me was kind of upper middle class, and
yeah.
but my mom taught me, she's very resourceful, and she taught me to
Mhm.
sew. And so from when I was 8 years old, I
Yeah.
was able to sew. And my mom
Yep.
and I sometimes, like, when if clothes came in and they had like a stain, they weren't able to be passed along to a family, we would take
Uh-huh.
it, cut it up, make scrunchies.
Yeah.
I had like matching scrunchies to every outfit because I knew how to make them. And like
I
and
love it.
yeah, I can make shorts. She was pretty amazing. And I never really, as a child, or as a parent, I look at like metrics of being poor. And my mom kept me very wealthy with like
Yes.
interests, with time in nature, with appreciation and gratitude. And you know,
Skills.
yeah. And it's so funny because like as in America, like everyone measures you on what you do and what your status
Yeah.
is. And as a CEO, which is like a very uncomfortable thing to call myself because but as a CEO, I don't really care about like growth or any of these things. The things I care about is like, can I run this business with integrity? Can I pay my employees well? Can I spend time with my children so that they don't feel like their mom is absent and working all the time? And those are things that make me, you know,
Mm.
life rich.
Your definition of success.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
You know?
I call myself the director of fun because I don't like CEO either.
Yeah. Totally. Like, yeah, I call myself Chief Detangler in our emails when
Love
I'm
it.
and that makes me happier 'cause it's like that's what I set out to do. You know.
That's very cool. Yeah. Yeah. I love it. So, okay, so your product is called Dip, right?
Yep.
DIP. Does
Mhm.
how'd you come to the name? How'd you find that?
So it needs water to for it to work. And so I
Uh-huh.
love the idea when you and I use it for detangling when I come out of the pool or ocean. So you dip the bar in water and run it down wet hair and it'll instantly detangle. The conditioner will. But
Wow.
I love like the idea of dipping out of the mainstream. So
Mm,
I want people to avoid channels like of course you can't avoid them 100%, but limit their shopping behavior on Amazon, on um
mm,
in Walmart, Target, all these fast to consume, you know, really speedy purchases, that impulse buys that people make.
mm,
And I
hmm.
want people to start noticing the stores in their town that are really moving the needle about plastic and what your options are, and they vet the products that are on their shelves. So it's basically dipping out of the mainstream, dipping into water, dipping into something new. I mean,
I
there's
love
so
it.
there. It's a fun word.
It is a fun word.
Yeah.
Dipping into your favorite beverage.
Yeah. And I love, like, for me, like, I just love the word dip because it reads the same upside down and right way up.
Oh,
It's really cute.
right. Never thought of that.
Yeah. And I always say I'm going to go for a dip because I try and swim as often as possible.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love that. We also have a home in Sarasota, Florida, and
Ooh.
the beach is my happy place.
Yeah.
So I
Me too.
love that. I love that analogy.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Where can people find your product? Where is it available?
Sure. So it's on our website, dipalready.com, dipalready.com.
Uh-huh.
But also, if you go to dipalready.com and you click on store locator, it'll pull up the store that's closest to
Nice.
you. And so we sell in zero waste stores or refilleries, where you can find all sorts of alternatives to things that you currently use in your homes that are plastic
Hmm.
free. And then we also sell in hair salons around the country and also surf shops. So those are the three
Nice.
places I want to sell dip, and I don't really need to sell a million other places.
I love it.
Yeah, thank you.
That's very cool. I'm thinking through my audience, and a lot of us live at the beach
Mhm.
or love that and would love to live at the beach. A lot of us are um, more aware and health conscious, and I think
Yeah,
that's going to really resonate with people.
I hope so. I mean, the ingredients are amazing, and that's just, the tip of the iceberg. But the real
Mhm.
thing is that it works. Um, like it makes your hair look really, really beautiful. And so, the shampoo it's made, this problem it really solves is not having to choose between your workout and a good hair day. So I run, I run all the time. Like try and run and exercise and get some movement in every day.
Huh?
And there's kind of this conventional wisdom that you hear all the time that you shouldn't wash your hair every day. But if you're
Hmm.
someone who is active every day or training for something, there's plenty of people training for marathons or
Hmm.
that just or do yoga every day. Like you don't need to go hair down, bun, hat day to avoid showering. Like you can just use dip because it's gentle and it's gentle enough to use every day. And the conditioner is one of those things that it's my magnum opus. It's my favorite thing in the world. And
Oh,
it will replace twelve tubes of very expensive conditioner.
really?
So the conditioner bar is $32, but it will last most people around a year, unless you have like
Wow.
big, big volume, then it might do like 6 to 8 months. But for most people, it's 6 months to 2 years. So you can see the range of
Hmm.
how it's used, and it will instantly detangle your hair after coming out of the water. And that's
Wow.
the best.
Well, absolutely, especially for long hair people
Oh my gosh.
or
Yeah.
curly
Or
hair people.
parents with daughters with long hair, because
Oh,
like most of the emails I get about this are from dads that have been that's like their whole job in the household is to detangle their daughter's hair after a shower, like
uh-huh.
and dip has like provides ouchless detangling for them.
Oh gosh.
And that I get a lot of messages about that very specific thing.
Wow. So it's a leave-in conditioner then,
You
right?
can leave it in, yes.
Okay.
It's not
Or you can rinse
mandatory.
it out.
Yep, you can do it both
Okay.
ways. I always leave it in. I've been doing that my whole life with conditioner. I always leave. They always say, like, I think it was in 17 magazine when I was like 12, but you always leave a dime size amount of conditioner, put it back in your hair after the
Oh,
shower.
yeah.
And I do that with dip. So I just take it when after I rinse out the first round of conditioner, I take the bar,
Hmm.
I run it over my wet hair, and then
Hmm.
I just leave. Like, and then,
Okay.
yeah.
I love it. Your hair is beautiful. It's very shiny.
Thank you. That is the dip.
Looks healthy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm. Oh my gosh. Okay, so thinking about your journey, you this just it wasn't just a trajectory and uphill, just a let's just we're gonna go and it's gonna be great and look at all these sales coming in.
No, it never is.
No,
It's never
no,
that.
no. But okay, so tell us how your journey went.
So I started a company. I didn't think I could do it on my own, so I took a partner. Like this has been my dream for a very long time to solve this problem, and I took a partner, and the company was successful, and the partnership was not. And
Mm.
for anyone who really truly believes that they can't do their dream on their own, I would, and it's a quality a lot of women have, where they're like, "I'll take a partner; it'll be more fun. We'll spread out the risk." All this. I am one of hundreds of thousands of women who went into a partnership and it didn't work out the way I had hoped. And we dissolved that first business, and the after effects of dissolving something that I was like my dream was, I mean, I can't really describe it any other way that it felt like I had lost a piece of myself. I went into like a crazy
Oh,
grief, depression, financially, like lost everything with that first.
oh
It was
gosh.
so bad. And then
That wasn't dip though. That was a different
no, it was
product.
the one before this one. And so when
Okay.
I started, I decided I was going to start again. I was like, this is my dream. This is my calling. This is the unscratchable itch. I can't like let it, like, what am I going to not finish what I started? So,
Right.
made dip. I made the formulas better. I made them, the mission stronger. And I made everything that I took that first experience as like a very fast, very expensive MBA. I was like, okay, now I know what not to do.
Yeah.
And then now, for me, I learned to bank on myself and do it my own way. And I spent the first 18 months um, really doing it on my own. And I would go around the country and find zero waste stores and be like, I promise you, this is the best stuff you'll ever try. Like, I promise. And
Scrappy.
by one, they put dip on their shelves, and it became like a big seller for them. And
Mm.
and yeah, and then I eventually like built and built and built and hired people, and it's felt very surreal and very magical, Um,
Yeah.
I every time someone converts to dip, they go from like a fancy salon brand to dip. Like I get so excited because I'm like, this person is now officially saving so much money on their hair care.
Wow.
And that's
Wow. That's incredible because normally you think of something that, okay, it's going to be better for me. It's going to be
Mhm.
better for the environment. It's just better all the way around. It's going to be more expensive.
Yeah.
That's kind
Yeah.
of the thought process.
Totally. And up front, the sticker shock is big when someone looks at it from the viewpoint of like, I already buy shampoo and conditioner bars. Why is dip like two or three times the price?
Mm.
And but
Hmm.
what's so funny is when someone who buys luxury hair care sees the price, they're like,
Hmm.
oh, okay, whatever. It's a different customer.
Yeah.
Like the person I'm trying to convert, I'm not trying to convert someone who's happy with bar hair care. I'm trying to convert someone who's like, I'll never touch bar hair care, and the ingredients
Yeah.
are reflective of the price, right? So, someone who I used to use Oribe myself, so
Hmm.
which is very expensive. It can sometimes be $50 to $70 per bottle or tube, and
Hmm.
Dip replaces a full year's worth of that for me. So, a
Wow.
$22 bar replaces over $500 worth of hair care
Dang.
conditioner, and that was the dream for me. Like it's it's not enough to get someone to use less plastic. You also have to give them something else for them to be
Yeah.
excited about.
Yeah.
And that's what I set out to do. And so far, it's been really great. Like,
Yeah.
I don't
Well,
want to sound too confident because like that's the universe will
oh,
come down.
yeah. That's
It'll look
karma's
and
not.
be like,
Yeah.
oh yeah. Not that great.
No,
You
I'm
know,
very grateful for where we are in this
I'm
day.
so grateful, universe. Please don't ruin it.
Yes, manifest some more of that.
Yeah. I always think that the universe works that way. I like to believe that it rewards good and
Oh, yeah.
generosity and all those things, but
Yes,
who
absolutely.
knows? I think
Well,
it takes from arrogance, right? So I'm gonna like
yes,
I don't want
and it you get lessons from those
yeah.
hardship times, those things that don't necessarily work right, or sometimes a blessing in disguise, but in the moment,
Oh man, yeah.
ouch.
Yeah. That first business was the harshest lesson I've ever learned. And I'm
Mm,
and now looking back, it's almost crazy to think that I was so upset because I didn't know that the best things were yet to come. Um, but you could never know that. You just
right.
don't know that until you're through it.
You got to trust it. You got to trust that it's coming
Yeah.
because you're following your heart, you're following your calling,
Yeah.
what you're doing.
Yeah. And I just love hair. So I could talk about hair all day. And even though, that was not my education, I'm not a hairstylist, I just love it. Like, and it brings me a lot of joy to have people tell me about their hair, which people tell me about it all the time. And I'm like,
Uh-huh.
yeah, this is like, I
Ah,
chose
full
the right
circle.
industry for me because I love it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Find what you love and then
Mhm.
make it better.
Yeah.
Neat. Um, okay, so I'm thinking about I'm thinking about me.
Okay.
um, as a person who gets shampoo and conditioner at Costco, please don't judge me.
No, it's okay. It's okay. There's no judgment at all. Like, especially if you're buying like a bulk version, that's a great start.
A big jug of
Yeah.
it, because I'm there and I'm getting a chicken and I'm,
Yeah, I get it.
but okay, so it sounds like it would be a good thing to, well, of course, it's a good thing to switch to better products and less plastic. And that's the move I've been trying to make in other ways. But
Mhm.
I've been one of those bar skeptics.
Yeah, rightly so. There's a lot of really bad ones.
Yeah.
I hate to say that, but it's the whole reason dip was created in the first place. I was so
Yeah.
tired of bad bars that I was like,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna solve this problem, even though solving the problem is like a very huge endeavor. Like it's
Well, yeah.
not easy and it's not cheap
Well,
to start and it's
exactly. When you
yeah.
hear the stories of, okay, no, I tried a bar and this is my experience, then it makes it harder for
Oh
you,
yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah. I'm one of those people. If I didn't vet it myself and someone told me,
Hmm.
hey, try this, try dip, I'd be like, no, I've tried 40 brands. I'm not doing it again. And
Yeah.
eventually, hopefully someone like me can be converted.
Yeah.
But I'm also that person. I'm like, I'm spending so much money trying to save the earth that like worth it, I'll just buy the big jug and the day is done.
Yeah.
So I think of my company through those eyes because I am that person.
Okay.
I'm so tired. I'm so tired of bad sustainable products. I'm
Hmm.
so angry with them.
And the
They ruin it
preachiness
for
of a
me.
lot of them.
Yeah. They ruin it for me. Like I want to find someone
Oh, yeah.
who's like excited about making the change and already so many times they're like, no. I will not. But what's amazing is that our customers are the biggest advocates and our biggest, like they're
Hmm.
the ones that you get like one skeptic to convert, they tell everyone.
Hmm.
Because that feeling of trying to do the right thing only to feel like hosed by marketing is
Mm-hmm.
in sustainability is a very universal experience. I can stop 100 people on the street and be like, hey, did you try and buy something plastic free? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, did it cost more? And they're like, yeah. And I was like, did it suck? And they're like, yes. And so, so I know those people, they're everywhere, and I am one of them. So I needed it to be really good. And
Yeah.
so sick of bad products. I feel like they're all cash grabs. I feel like,
Mm.
someone was like, "Oh, look, plastic free is trending. Like, let's just like there's someone that makes a plastic free tissue." And I was like, "Ew." Like a
What?
rinse. Like, and I'm like, "This is come on." Like, there's no way you thought of the end user. You just made something
Mm.
plastic free, but you didn't think like, "Ew, what's this person going to do with this thing?" And also, there's already like a handkerchief exists. you know, and don't beat people up for using a tissue.
It's
Like,
what
let
my
them
grandparents
you.
used. Yeah.
Yeah, like let them, you're not solving a problem, you're making it worse, you're ruining it for the rest of us. And like
Yeah.
if someone wants to use a tissue, like don't shame them and make it seem like they're the problem. You know what I mean? Um,
Yeah.
it's very rational for people to use convenient things. And shampoo bottles are one of those things, and conditioner bottles are convenient. But
But wow, what a
dips,
lot of plastic.
yeah. And those big jugs, even though you're buying them less often, they take
Hmm.
way longer to decompose, right?
I'm
Or
sure.
so what or to biodegrade. So what I
Hmm.
would love for someone to do that's listening is like, I'm really happy with my Costco stuff. Realize that I would just try the dip conditioner bar first, because even if you don't want it in your shower, which, okay, if you don't want your shower, bring it to the pool, bring it to the beach. It will instantly detangle your hair after swimming, and you can air dry and move on with your day. And so I want people to really figure out how they can fit it into their lifestyle. And eventually we're going to get in your shower. It'll get there. A lot of people don't believe it's going to get there, but it gets there.
Mm, I believe it. Yeah, I'm excited to try it because I was just telling my husband that, I think we're getting low on shampoo. And so I was going to put it on the list, but I don't have to now.
Yeah. You're next.
I'm
Um,
next.
and let him know that 30% of our customers are men. So,
Really?
yeah.
Okay.
And which is unusual for luxury hair care.
Yeah.
But what
Well, women are making the purchases.
women are making the purchases, but what is amazing is that men say that they like it because the brand is not girly and our marketing is not
Oh.
girly. So they feel like they're invited into the party. Like,
Mm.
yeah, we're having a plastic free party and like men are invited. There's a lot of men out there that surf and need to detangle their hair. Like a lot
Yeah.
of men that surf tend to surf at dawn, need to run it down their hair, and then they switch from their wetsuit into like their work clothes and go to work.
Uh-huh.
They don't even stop home to shower, and dip kind of helps them with that.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so you don't know my hubby, but he's got maybe two hairs.
Oh, perfect.
He'll be an instant convert.
Yeah, great. Well, we'll take care of those two hairs real nice.
Okay, good, good, good. Well, his mustache, he could use a little help there
Oh,
with,
yeah.
the
You can use
conditioner
it
part.
there.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Sorry, honey. Oh my gosh. So what have I not asked you that you would love to share with people? What's on your heart?
Sure. I would really, really like to tell people that although you can order dip online through our website, I would really love for you to visit the store locator and find
Mm,
the retailer closest to you that you can purchase from in person. And there's a few reasons for that. One, you can ask them any questions in case you're scared, and you don't have to take it from me. I make sure that everyone that sells dip in their store tries it first and really loves it, because I think it's a hard sell unless you really love it yourself. And then the next thing is like I want you to think about how you shop, and when you support someone in your town, you are actually making your money work for you and where you live. So if you find the spot in town that has dip, they're paying taxes that support your schools, that support your libraries, that support everything that is dear to you and helped you make that choice of where you live. And what people don't realize is so fast they shop on Amazon, they shop, in mass retailers, and that money leaves your town and goes off to other places and maybe contributes to a rocket ship flight that seems unnecessary. You know? So really
possibly.
possibly, just maybe. So my biggest thing is to check the stores near you. We have a few retailers in Iowa, so check them out.
Cool.
And yeah, I mean, once you get into a refill store, if you've never experienced a refill store, once you get in there, just even if they don't stock dip, just take a look around, see what swaps you can make, and see, like I only buy paper towels for bacon. Like that's the only reason I buy them. But every other use for a paper towel has been replaced by reusable paper towels, which is
Wow.
a fancy way to say rags that are nice and cute. Um, like so, but they're great. The ones that you find in refill stores, like I've been using the same ones for, I don't know, 5 years,
Mhm.
and I've had to buy maybe one pack of paper towels because I'm not eating bacon that often, but like literally all it is there for. And when I think about how much paper towels a family consumes all the time, it's
A lot.
not cheap. They're so expensive. Like
Mm-hmm.
that, just the cost savings of just making that one switch, the cost savings of switching to stasher bags or reusable Ziploc bags instead of using plastic ones every day. There are
Mm-hmm.
so many swaps that feel a little expensive, but long term, after a few months, you've already made your money back. And
Mm-hmm.
I use this to like justify other purchases too. I don't know there's going back, but like one time I bought this very expensive leather jacket and I've been wearing it, no joke, for 12 years.
Oh yeah.
I've gotten my money's worth on this jacket.
Yep.
And I think you need to view sustainability like that sometimes. Like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
like the stasher bag, for example, sometimes I can't remember how much they are off the top, but they're more expensive than a pack of Ziplocs. But my stasher bags, I have two kids that take lunch to school every day. These stasher bags have
Mm.
ultimately made tons of money back. And they've saved me tons of money in my consumption. And I feel good about it too. Like that's the other pat on the back I'll give myself. But
Mm-hmm.
I want people to just start thinking like these are go into that refill store or zero waste store. These are the things that
Mm-hmm.
really move the needle in my life, whatever your lifestyle is.
Mm, cool. The stasher bags, are they a silicone
They're
alternative?
silicone, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
And can you stick those in the dishwasher?
you can. Yeah, you
Okay.
can. I
Mm.
stick mine in the dishwasher and it's it's just nice to have something that is durable enough. Like I
Yeah.
put they're great for marinades too when I marinate.
Mm.
But so is like a stainless steel bowl. So
But well, yeah, that's true. But the I'm thinking of those bags being lightweight, like for
Mhm,
storage solutions, where a lot
absolutely.
of my friends and myself too, we've gone to glass
Yeah.
and ceramic and that kind of thing, and that's great, but it's very heavy.
Heavy, it's clunky, and it takes a lot of space.
It does.
But I'm a big fan of both of those things. It's just
Hmm.
I live in like a very small house and like my kitchen doesn't have that much storage. So like
Yeah.
a lot of those solutions are for beautiful big pantries that I just do not have.
Yeah. Well, and you can't toss those into a cute little bag, you know, or
Oh no,
a grab
they
and go kind of
bounce
situation.
around.
Yeah,
Yeah, for
exactly.
sure. But I mean, that's the goal is to really not badger everyone into making a million
Yeah.
changes at once. It's just every once in a while, like you finish this, you
Make a
try a
swap.
different, yeah, make the swap. Um,
Yeah.
that soft serve into sustainability, I think, is better for everyone instead of the
Yeah.
finger waggly, like throw
Yeah.
everything you own out now and replace it with
Yeah.
other stuff. It just makes no sense?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So your stores that you work with, the retailers, how do you find them?
It's a mutual hunt
They
and peck.
find you, you
And
find
we find each
them.
other. Yeah, we find each other. The network, the sustainability retailer network is pretty tight. And so
Ah.
we're not in all of the sustainable stores out there. We're not in all of them, but we're in many of them. And there's it's a you know it's a community, and
Uh-huh.
we all want the same thing. We want people shopping in store locally, and we want to expose people to those other solutions. So, that network of stores is really, really important. It's its own web. And
Mm-hmm.
I just brought 20, a few dozen of my small retailers out to the Catskills, and we had like a fun adult summer
Oh,
camp out there. And a lot
oh,
of
how fun.
people have known each other digitally, because independent store owners they flew in from all over the country, and we came and we had like a really fun sustainable, like one of the events was like a rock skipping contest. So silly. It was really fun.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
sure.
but a lot of these people had only known each other digitally, and I created a place where
Oh,
they can get
oh.
together and really get to know each other, because I think I think owning a retail store is difficult in this day and age, and it's
Mm-hmm.
lonely. It's both of those things, and
Mm-hmm.
it's weirdly not respected. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
A lot of these store owners have had this experience where they can overhear someone being like, "Oh, I wonder what the husband does that supports this store." Do you know what I mean?
Oh my God.
They hear that a lot, or like, good luck with this store, as if like it's not gonna survive. And I think
Wow.
that that experience, that commonality that a lot of them have experienced, really gross and really like, you know, these these entrepreneurs have a lot of them they've left all different kinds of careers to
Mhm.
make sustainability, available to their towns and the people in their
For
towns.
their calling.
Yeah, and I think the way a lot of people treat small store owners is like pretty gross. So if you're listening to this and you've ever walked into a store and being like, "Yeah, I wonder who pays for all this," it's the store owner.
Oh,
You know, they
yeah, yeah.
invest, they invest in
And
the
you're welcome.
industry. Yeah, and you're welcome. They invest in, they actually pay taxes, their fair share of
Hmm.
taxes, and they pay fair wages to their teams. And you know, Amazon does not pay their fair share of taxes, and they
Hmm.
should. So, um,
Right,
you know,
right.
and
Rocket ship boy.
yeah, yeah. It's crazy. Um,
Yeah.
but again, like
Oh,
if you're in a rural area, Amazon is a godsend, right?
you're right.
Because that's what's available to you. So I'm not shaming people for Amazon use. I'm saying
Yeah,
it's an opportunity to find something where you live. Like try that first before you add
yeah.
your
Do you work with other small real retailers who might be like boutique type stores that aren't necessarily known for sustainability
Yes.
yet?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. And we
Okay.
use a lot of our marketing to get people into stores instead of shopping on our site. So even when
Okay.
you go to our website and you abandon your cart, it's like, good. Now you can go and find a store
Go
close
find it.
to you. Yeah,
Yeah.
and save on
Oh,
shipping.
that's cool.
And that's really fun.
I'm just thinking there's a wonderful boutique in our county seat. The
Hmm.
town that I live in is 1,000 people, and our county has, I think, less than 18,000 total
Hmm.
total. So, the county seat is where people go to shop, or they go into the bigger town of Cedar Rapids.
Yeah.
Woo! That little boutique, it's been there for over 20 years. The gal who owns it is amazing. She's very community focused. She does a lot of events for kids
Mhm.
and people in the town. It's amazing. And this would I'd be shocked if she doesn't have it, actually.
Yeah, let her know. One of our top Iowa retailers is in Bettendorf, Iowa.
Yes.
Yeah.
I lived there for a while.
No way. Yeah.
Yeah,
They
right
have
out of college.
yeah, and so they have a refill store and they do really, really well with dip. And I really
Really?
love the owner of that. Yeah. So
That's cool. Well, I'm going to put links to these places and your website in my
thank
show
you.
notes and in my email, my newsletter. For those of you listening, if you're not on my newsletter, you can go to pennyforyourshots.com/insider and get the scoop on all the things. So that's great. I'm going to include those links.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay, so gosh, we've been chatting a bit. So I always ask my guests at the end of the episode something fun. And we've been chatting about all things fun already, but what's your favorite beverage or glass of wine? What do you like to enjoy?
Oh, well, I am from New Jersey, so I'm equal opportunity when it comes to alcohol, where
Excellent.
I like everything, but I
I
am
knew I'd love you.
must have been a pirate in another life because I love rum more than anything.
Rum.
I love
Nice.
rum.
Do you have a favorite mixer or kind of what do you normally drink with it?
Well,
Oh, just on the rocks.
it depends on my weight at the time, but when I'm trying to lose weight, I'm always Bacardi, Limon, and Diet Coke, which is a very college drink, kind of in my
Oh
40s.
yeah.
I really love it. And when I'm not trying to lose weight, it is I love a daiquiri, strawberry
Mm,
daiquiri.
lovely. Yes. Um, that reminds
Rum
me,
all day.
I would love it. Um, when you come visit me in Florida, we're in Sarasota and there's a rum distillery there called Siesta Key Rum.
All right, I'll
It's
see you
a
tomorrow.
yeah, it's fantastic. They're award winning and they have a coconut rum that toasted coconut rum that is just to die for.
Sounds amazing. Yeah,
Just on the rocks. Just
I
fine.
love it. I'll be there.
Okay. Yeah, we're fast friends, I'm sure. So so what's a memory that you have with girlfriends sharing a glass of rum or a glass of or a daiquiri or whatever?
I mean, a lot of them don't are not safe for
Are, our episode ready.
Yeah. Well, I think at one point, my friends and I were really rum drunk, and we found seashells and we put them on our one eye, and we were talking like pirates. And I really love that memory because it was so silly. We were in
Yeah.
the shallows in the mangroves of Puerto Rico, and we thought no one could see us. We were like being really silly. And it turns out like there was like a cruise ship that dumped a whole bunch of people off, and we were just there like enjoying ourselves. And then when we noticed, there was like an audience. That was really funny. So yeah, not one of my proudest moments, but also one of my most fun. So,
I think that sounds, yeah, I love that. They just wanted to be a part of the group.
yeah, yeah, but like your back is turned to what's happening behind you.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
just having the
Yep.
time of your life, and then you turn around
Yeah.
and it's like a nightmare. There's all these people.
Oh, hey, girl. Hey. Oh, gosh, I love it. Well, and they knew you were having fun and they were just jealous.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm in my 40s now. That was more than 10 years ago. So, but
Yeah.
I don't know where I don't know where the time goes, but it feels like yesterday.
No judgment. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And how lucky are we to have fun friends and just,
Totally.
a girlfriend gave me a Christmas tree ornament that says, I love the nights I can't remember with the friends I can't forget.
Yeah, that is perfect. I mean,
Yeah.
those would go crazy in New Jersey. To get them.
Yeah. It's just appropriate, I
Yeah,
remember a lot of it. Oh my gosh. Kate, this has been so fun.
Thank you for having me. This was really, really a fun interview.
Thank you. Yeah, I enjoyed it so much. It was great to get to know you. And gosh, I feel like, of course, we're friends. And yeah, we'll be on a beach someday sipping rum together.
Absolutely. I hope so.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And thank you,
Yes.
everyone, for listening this far in. We appreciate it.
Yes, for sure. For sure. Thanks again, Kate.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Bye.
Have a great rest of your day. That's a wrap on this episode of Penny for Your Shots. If you loved today's conversation, don't let the inspiration stop here. Get my weekly insider updates straight to your inbox. It's where I spill behind the scenes goodies, exclusive tips, and all the fun stuff I don't always share on the podcast. Sign up now at pennyforyourshots.com/insider. I'll see you in your inbox next Thirsty Thursday. Cheers!